The 2014 Canadian Grand Prix, formerly known as the Formula One Grand Prix du Canada 2014, is a Formula One motor race that took place on June 8, 2014 at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, Canada. Won by Daniel Ricciardo, the race was the seventh round of the 2014 season, and marked the 51st running of the Canadian Grand Prix. This is the sixth race in Grand Prix history to end behind the safety car, after a last-lap collision between Felipe Massa and Sergio par copyright res. Ricciardo became the fourth Australian to win a Formula One Grand Prix following on from Jack Brabham, Alan Jones and the man he replaced at Red Bull Racing for the 2014 season, Mark Webber. Report. Background. Tyre supplier Pirelli brought its yellow-banded soft compound tyre as the harder prime tyre and the red-banded super soft compound tyre as the softer option tyre, as opposed to the previous year where medium and super soft selections were provided. Practice and qualifying. 3 practice sessions were held before the race. The first on Friday morning and the second on Friday afternoon. Both sessions lasted 1.5 hours. The third session was held on Saturday morning and lasted an hour. The qualifying session held on Saturday afternoon was split into 3 parts. The first part ran for 18 minutes and eliminated the cars from qualifying that finished the session 17th or lower. The second part of qualifying lasted 15 minutes and eliminated cars that finished in positions 11 to 16. The final part of qualifying determined the positions from 1st to 10th, and decided pole position. Cars which completed in the final session of qualifying were not allowed to change tyres before the race, and as such started the race on the tyres they set their quickest lap on. Qualifying took place under dry conditions. Nico Rosberg clinched his third pole position for the season, with a time of 1:14.874. He was joined on the front row of the grid by his teammate Lewis Hamilton, followed by Sebastian Vettel who beat his teammate by qualifying third. Valtteri Bottas qualified fourth, 0.7 seconds behind Rosberg, and his Williams teammate Massa qualified fifth. Ricciardo, Alonso, Gina Perma, Rick Verne, Jenson Button and Kmira Currency Ika Paragraph Nana Euro in his 200th Grand Prix weekend Euro rounded out the top 10. Nico Harwan-Court Hülkenberg only managed 11th AA Euro, missing out on the top 10 by just 0.045 seconds. Kevin Magnussen placed his McLaren in 12th, ahead of par copyright res, Romain Grosjean, Daniil Kvyat, with Adrian Sutil qualifying 16th. Pastor Maldonado was 17th, with the rest of the field consisting of the Marussia and the Caterham cars. Sauber driver Esteban Goucher copyrighter REZ did not take part in the qualifying session, due to an accident during the earlier free practice session, leaving his team unable to repair his car in time. Post-qualifying, although Goucher copyrighter REZ did not take part in qualifying, he was allowed to start the race by the stewards who judged that he was capable to compete in a sufficient pace based on his free practice times. Later on he was penalized by having to start from the pit lane because his team had to change the gearbox and the survival cell of his car as a result of his free practice accident. Kami Kobayashi received a 5-place grid penalty for an unscheduled gearbox change. Race. Both of the Marussia cars crashed on the first lap, bringing out the safety car until the 8th lap. Before this, Vettel from 3rd place on the grid had been able to overtake Hamilton, who started from 2nd place. On the first corner Lewis Hamilton tried going around the outside of Nico Rosberg, but Rosberg locked a brake and ran wide, making Hamilton lose 2nd place to Vettel. Having reclaimed 2nd place from Vettel, Hamilton passed Rosberg when exiting the pit lane following his second stop. At the turn 10 hairpin, Hamilton went wide after having complained of brake problems. This allowed Rosberg to move back up into 2nd, behind race leader Massa. On the Casino Straight, after attempting to pass Rosberg once again, Hamilton completely lost his brakes and cut the chicane. Hamilton retired from the race due to the brake problems on lap 48. On the final lap, in an overtaking attempt, Massa's front right tyre collided with the back of par copyright res's car, causing them both to crash into the barriers at high speed. Daniel Ricciardo won the first race in his Formula One career, taking Red Bull's first victory of the 2014 season. Rosberg finished second a Euro, and extended his championship lead to 22 points a Euro after nursing his car home with problems in its kinetic motor generator unit, which caused his car to have less power than everyone else. Post-race, after the race, Jules Bianchi and Max Chilton were referred to the stewards for their collision during the first lap. Sergio Pérez and Felipe Massa were referred to the stewards as well for their collision during the last lap. The stewards deemed Chilton and Pérez responsible for the accidents and issued them with a 3-place and a 5-place grid penalty, respectively, for the following race. Classification, qualifying, notes. 1AA Euro Kami Kobayashi was given a 5-place grid penalty for an unscheduled gearbox change. 2AA Euro Esteban Goucher copywriter REZ did not take part in qualifying because his team was unable to repair damage on his car, sustained as a result of a crash during free practice 3, in time. He was allowed to start the race on the steward's discretion, who judged that he is capable of lapping with the 107% limit based on his free practice times. 3AA Euro Goucher copywriter REZ was further penalized with having to start from the pit lane because his car needed a gearbox and a survival cell change as a result of his accident during free practice. Race notes. 1. A2, A3AA Euro Sergio Pérez, Felipe Massa and Esteban Goucher copywriter REZ did not finish the race but were classified as they completed more than 90% of the race distance. Standings after the race, note, only the top 5 positions are included for both sets of standings. References. External links.